okay, there's something you're working on right now. You're really planning for the future, or like you're trying to plan for the future. You're kind of like getting your ducks in a row is what I'm getting. Like you're getting organized financially. You're trying to make things work with the resources that you have, but you feel blocked in some way. You feel blocked in some way. You feel like what you have is not working, or what you have is not enough. And I'm getting like, so we got the Seven of Treasure first, and then the Nine of Coral, and then the Hierophant reversed. So I feel like there's some way that you're doing something that you're only doing because you think you have to do it. It's like a big theme in your life. It could be like a job, it could be, or just like a type of job. It feels like you don't know any other way of doing things, so you're just doing it, and yet you're looking down on it and you're like, well, this isn't enough. Like, this doesn't feel like enough. What is this card? So I feel like you're at the end of this cycle where you're like, actually, this is not what I want to do. Like, this doesn't feel good anymore. Like, the old ways of being doesn't feel good for me anymore. Wow. So we did get the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Spears in this deck. Got my Ocean deck. And then the Ten of Spears, Ten of Swords in this deck is really cool because in the traditional deck, like, the person is face down with the swords. But this one, it's like she's surrounded by the swords, but she's looking up at the sky and the sun is shining on her. So it's like, it's kind of like hitting rock bottom. It's like, well, once that happens, you're full of possibility. It's like this beautiful emptiness almost. Like, and this is really interesting because it had to do, we were talking about like the old ways aren't working anymore. And I think like a very big idea of hitting rock bottom or being in this like empty place, like, I'm not talking well right now because I'm like running on very low sleep, and I still can't go to bed. So here I just wanted to do this. The stuttering is, I always stutter, but it's going to be worse right now because, you know, I'll probably start twitching. Back to the reading. The Ten of Swords. So I feel like I love this image because it's like, okay, well, now we know that everything is done. Everything from the old is done. You can't take it anymore. This chapter is closed. You need to move forward completely differently. And that's such a beautiful feeling. Look, she's looking up at the sun. She's looking up at like, well, what can I do now? But what a beautiful question. What can you do now? So like in the Western world, like the idea of being empty or being kind of blank, having a blank slate, we always view that negatively. And we always view it in the terms of like lack. Like, okay, well, I have nothing. I don't have anything. But more Eastern ideas of this like blank slate is like, that is seen as the opposite. It's abundance because you are so abundant with opportunities now. There are so many different ways you can go now. Wheel of Fortune on the bottom. Actually, I'm gonna pull in your spread. So I think like the idea of like, okay, well, the old ways you were doing things aren't working anymore. Good. That's great that you figured that out. Now the whole world is like open to you. The world is changing, like the cycle is closing, the cycle is closed, the wheel is turning. So like new. Thoughts aren't working right now, but like new. Whatever you think isn't possible is possible. You may be tied to these old ideas because they feel safe. You may feel risk averse, but like any attachment to the old ways are just like in your nervous system from like potentially childhood wounds or just past wounds. But it's not your truth. It's also not the truth. Because you are a full of abundance now that you know what doesn't serve you, you can find the thing that does. You can find the things that do. You weren't able to figure that out before because you had all of these things that you didn't even know you didn't want at the time. But now you came to this like beautiful clarity, even though it can be hard to face at times because it's like, okay, I'm empty now. I don't have anything now because I had to get rid of everything that wasn't working, which was everything. Year of the snake, it took a toll, right? But you can only find your way forward, find a truthful way forward when there's nothing blocking you, when there's nothing in your way. Now there's nothing in your way. That feels scary because, especially in our society, it's like we need things, we need resources, we need more, more, more. That is just a cultural mindset. It doesn't have to be yours, which is really, really hard to, yeah, Page of Pearls reverse just fell out. It's like those are like those were ideas that you grew up with in your family, in your culture, these ideas that kind of harmed your inner child, harmed your childhood, yourself in the past by giving you all of these ideas that don't actually serve your highest good. Let me get some advice here, Spirit. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. Okay. So we got the Five of Pearls reversed. Beautiful. We're moving on from grief. But we got the Three of Spears. So you still feel a bit down and out. You still feel a bit heartbroken. But look at all that you overcome. Look at all that you have overcome. It's okay to still be heartbroken. I think you need to examine the wounds in your heart, where they came from, how they've been altered and changed over time, and how they still affect you today. I think that's something you really need to look at, is the ways in which your heart was wounded. I think there's still inner work, inner healing that needs to be done, because that will tell you so much about what you truly want. The ways in which you've been harmed, it's painful to look at them, but it's so useful because our deepest wounds came from like some rejection of our deepest truth. So in exploring that wound, you can see what your deepest truth is. That makes sense. What did we just get? Okay, Four of Treasure reversed. Interesting. I feel like you are letting go of attachment. It's just the heartbreak of it. Nine of Coral. Yeah, you're being more open. You're being more open. Eight of Treasure. Okay, and now you can focus on your skill set, on yourself, on your... You have a skill. You have a really important skill, and you're really masterful at this. This is like some sort of deep work you're doing. What did we just get? Seven of Treasure. Okay, Eight of Treasures followed by Seven of Treasure reversed. So yeah, you're definitely letting go of the way. And then the Ace of Spears. You're letting go of an old way. You're finding a new way, a new path forward, a new sense of clarity, a new mindset. Okay, Knight of Coral kept coming out earlier as well. I feel like you're very creative. You're very, I feel like you're trying to be more creative. You're trying to explore your creativity right now. And that might be kind of how you resonate with this entire reading. Like letting go of the old ways, being more creative, and how that can be so healing. Five of Treasure, yes. You're moving away from this lack, from this sense of, I don't have what it takes to be happy, healthy, to gain abundance. I don't have it in me. No, that's a past idea. That's an idea that came from someone else, not you. It's not your truth. We all have access to abundance. The Emperor reversed. 3 of coral. I feel like there were some boundaries that you had that were too rigid that you're figuring out. Like you almost, maybe because of some of this wounding, because of some past pain, you became very boundaried. And while there are great boundaries to have, there can be some that hold you back, because they just want to protect you and keep you safe and secure. But if we go too far in one direction, we avoid taking risks that might actually serve us in the end, that might bring us the thing we are looking for. So the fact that it's followed by 3 of corals, I feel like you're really open to new opportunities, to new paths forward. You're like actually seeing it now. You're seeing that as possible for you. This could be like some big movement happening in your life. Like you're actually taking a new step forward towards what you really want. Okay. Last piece of advice, Spirit. Oh my god, the lovers freaking flew out. The lovers flew the heck out. And then what do we get? Oh my god. 5 of pearls reversed. This is like a deep sense of balance. Like everything you're doing right now, it is so healing for you. It is so healing for you, and it's only leading you towards bigger and better things. This is very emotional. Like it's very like emotional healing, and you're becoming emotionally fulfilled. You're on your path to deep emotional fulfillment, deep joy, a deep just like spiritual life. So I hope you know that. I hope you know that like everything you're doing, it has a purpose. And I think you know that, but maybe you doubt it sometimes. You're like, is this all for nothing? Like I'm trying so hard. It's absolutely not for nothing. There's so much good headed your way. Ace of treasure. There's so much good headed your way. 3 of treasure. This is like you're getting aligned with the right people. I think you're kind of carrying the world on your shoulders, like the world on your back. That's this 10 of coral. And the King of Pearls reverse, it's like you are treating the path forward in a way that's like lacking emotion. But I think you need to infuse the next steps with emotion. You can't be unemotional about this. Like I think like in our work life, in our financial life, we're accustomed to being very like unemotional or detached from it, and that's like a protection. But I think that like that was the old way. That like didn't align with you, with your soul's path. You're an emotional being. So I think like you're trying to do so much in this like forward movement that it's like becoming overburdened. So I think you need to bring your emotions back into it, because your emotions will tell you when you need to go, when you need to stop, what is right for you and what's wrong, what you actually want. Page of treasure reversed. Yeah, so feeling overburdened might be like having you feeling a little cut off from the things you're looking for. I just can't end this reading for some reason. I'm gonna keep going. The Hermit and the World. Okay, you really need to trust yourself. You really need to trust yourself right now and take the lessons that you are learning inside yourself as serious you would as like a lesson from your favorite teacher. Like there's something about like all of the things that you're learning about yourself right now, with all of the inner work you're doing, all the things you're learning about the world you actually want to see, the reality you want to see. You need to trust that more than anything. That is like the world. That is like you're really like doing something important. That cannot be overlooked. you need to take that as like concrete action or attitudes or just ideas. 10 of treasure, queen of treasure, 2 of spears. Okay. There may be multiple ways this could go for you. What else did we get? 8 of spears reversed. Okay. Yeah. I'll clarify this 2 of spears. 7 of treasure. Okay. I feel like you're kind of like you see these things so clearly, but you're torn between the past and the future. Like it's hard to escape the ties of the past. It's hard to not let them affect the way you move forward. But the past is the past. The future is the future. The decisions you made in the past, the person you were in the past, the attitudes you held in the past, any ideas you hold currently about your past self are keeping you from moving forward in the most aligned way. They're keeping you from attaining the life you want to attain because for some reason you can't let go of this identity you have about your past self or over identifying with your past. Like everyone has something in their past. Every single person, you can look at like the most successful person, they have shit in their past that they had to overcome. Like, there's nothing special about you. I'm sorry. I know it was hard, but that does not define you. That does not define you. You are infinite. You are divine. Sorry, I'm in such a weird mood tonight because I'm sleep deprived and here I am staying up so I don't want to go to bed. I feel like the message Spirit really wants to give you is as you move forward, don't lose sight of why you're actually doing it, of the light inside you, the lessons you learned while you were in hermit mode or while you were healing. Like, don't lose sight of those lessons. Don't lose sight of why you're actually on this path of changing the old ways, of doing something differently. Don't lose sight of the why. Never lose sight of the why. I feel like that's really important because it's really easy to be like, oh, okay, I want to change my life, so I'm going to do this. But the reason you wanted to change was because you figured out something didn't feel right. And so you acted accordingly. Good for you. But then it can be easy to go full speed ahead towards that new life and forget that, like, being so burdened by like this structure of one thing was part of the problem. Being so like just trapped within some idea you had is the problem. So you I think the point is like you are divine. There's something so important to be said here. Like, don't trap yourself in this new way forward, this new mindset, the same way you trapped yourself in the past. Part of the lesson here is that you've done so much healing work, you've done so much healing to your mindset in order to get this new life you want. But in this new life, you are constantly changing still. You're constantly like changing your idea of the way things are, of what you actually want. So it's important to like maintain this sense of openness and maintain this like divine view you have of yourself and the world. So yeah, I hope that made sense. I really hope that made sense. I think that's all I have to say here. Kind of losing it right now. I'm just talking out of my ass. So So if you liked this reading or if it resonated for you, I would love to hear about it.